Have you ever heard of a ruler so obsessed with art that he literally painted his way to ruin? This is the incredible, tragic story of Emperor Huizong of China's Song dynasty, a man whose passion for beauty ultimately destroyed an empire. Picture this. It's the 12th century. While most emperors are busy with politics and war, Huizong is in his palace, lost in a world of his own creation. He's not just a ruler, he's a master painter, a gifted poet, and a calligrapher of legendary skill. His days are spent capturing the delicate flight of cranes on silk scrolls, composing elegant verses, and perfecting the strokes of his characters. He transformed his court into a glittering hub of culture, a paradise of art and music, attracting the most brilliant minds of his time. It was a golden age of refinement, a spectacle of sophistication the world had rarely seen. But here's the problem with living in a beautiful, self-made paradise. You can forget about the world outside. And beyond the Great Wall, a storm was gathering. The Jurchen tribes, a fierce and ambitious people from the north, were uniting. They were hungry for power, and their gaze was turning southward. Huizong, ever the diplomat, saw an opportunity. He thought he could play a clever game of chess. He made an alliance with the Jurchen to crush a mutual rival, the Liao dynasty. When they succeeded, Huizong celebrated. He hosted lavish banquets, wrote poems about the victory, and believed he had secured lasting peace through his brilliant strategy. He was convinced his sophisticated diplomacy had triumphed where brute force would have failed. But peace built on a handshake with a predator is a fragile thing. The Jurchen, having tasted victory, now saw the wealthy, seemingly soft Song dynasty not as an ally, but as their next prize. They broke the alliance and began their march south, heading straight for Kaifeng, the magnificent capital of the northern Song. The alarm bells started ringing. His top generals warned him of the impending danger. His most trusted advisors pleaded with him to fortify the cities and mobilize the army. They told him the Jurchens couldn't be reasoned with, that they only understood the language of strength. But Huizong hesitated. He was a man of the brush, not the sword. He put his faith in treaties and negotiations, not in cold, hard steel. He truly believed that the cultural superiority of his empire, its sheer elegance and refinement, could somehow shield it from violence. It was a fatal miscalculation. Elegance can't stop a charging army. Culture can't defend a city wall. When the Jurchen war machine finally arrived at the gates of Kaifeng, the capital was woefully unprepared. The city that was the heart of art and learning was now facing an existential threat it had refused to acknowledge. In a moment of sheer panic, Huizong did the unthinkable. He abdicated the throne, handing the crisis to his son, hoping he could somehow escape the consequences of his own inaction. He wanted to wash his hands of the disaster he had allowed to unfold. But it was far, far too late. In the year 1127, the Jurchen armies breached the walls of Kaifeng. The dream turned into a nightmare. The city burned, palaces were looted, and centuries of priceless art and treasures were destroyed or carted away. Emperor Huizong, his son, the entire imperial family, and thousands of courtiers and artisans were rounded up and taken captive. They were marched north into a bitter, humiliating exile. In a single brutal winter, the northern Song dynasty, one of the most advanced and cultured civilizations on earth, collapsed. Huizong spent the final years of his life as a prisoner in the cold, desolate lands of the north. His artist's hands were idle, his brush was silent, and his songs went unheard. The paradise he had so carefully cultivated was gone, replaced by the grim reality of a fallen empire. His story is a powerful, timeless warning. Talent, refinement, and intellect mean very little without courage and decisive action. Beauty cannot protect a kingdom, and hesitation, when the moment demands boldness, can become the very architect of its ruin. So the next time you admire a beautiful piece of art, remember the tale of Emperor Huizong, the ruler who painted a masterpiece while his kingdom crumbled around him. If you found this story fascinating and want to uncover more incredible lessons from history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We have so many more epic tales of empires, rulers, and forgotten moments to share with you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.